Hello and welcome to the Global Centre's online classes. Before we start, please make sure you have your worksheets and a pen or a pencil to write with. Got everything? Great, let's begin. My name is Holly and today we will play the game of life. You might know it as Insenggame. Some of you may be familiar with the game of life, and some of you may not be. Either way, it's okay. The game of life is a popular board game in the UK. Players move around the board and live out a hypothetical life. But what is hypothetical? Well, a hypothesis is a guess you make based on information you already know. Therefore, something hypothetical is an idea you create from information you already know. To live in a different country, we need to get a job. For example, I live in South Korea because I have a job as an English teacher. If I did not have my job, I would not be able to live in South Korea. Therefore, finding a job is really important. But how should we choose a job? We should think about our skills. If we choose a job we are skilled at, we will be successful. I will suggest 6 different skills. Please pick one skill and write it on your worksheet. Are you ready? Let's look at the skills. Skill number 1. Strong. Skill number 2, smart. Skill number 3, kind. Skill number 4, stylish. Skill number 5, organized. And skill number 6, talented. Those are the skills you can choose from. Choose carefully. You can't change your answer. Once you choose it, it's your skill for life. Have you chosen? Perfect. Our skills help us get jobs in real life. Therefore, they will help us get jobs in our hypothetical life. Like real life, our skills have unlocked jobs for us. If you picked skill number 1, strong, your job is a personal trainer. If you picked skill number 2, smart, your job is a teacher. If you picked skill number 3, kind, your job is a therapist. If you picked skill number 4, stylish, your job is a fashion designer. If you picked skill number 5, organized, your job is an office worker. And if you picked skill number 6, talented, your job is a pop star. Wow, look at all of you hard-working people. Like a real job, our hypothetical job will earn us a salary. A salary is the money we get in return for the work we do. Different jobs have different salaries, and so do yours. Because we are moving to the UK, hypothetically, we are using Great British Pounds. One Great British Pound is around 1,600 Korean won. I will now tell you the salary of all your jobs. Please write your salary in the first box of the budget table on your worksheet. Here, we will keep track of how much money we have. Ready? Okay, let's find out how much money we earn. If your job is a personal trainer, your salary is 35,000 Great British Pounds. If your job is a teacher, your salary is 32,000 Great British pounds. If your job is a therapist, your salary is 60,000 Great British pounds. If your job is a fashion designer, your salary is 30,000 Great British pounds. If your job is an office worker, your salary is 24,000 Great British pounds. And if your job is a pop star, your salary is 150,000 Great British pounds. Whew, that's a lot of money. We should spend some of it. What else do we need when we move to a new country? We have a job, we have money, and yes, we need to find a place to live. Much like South Korea, there are many different types of dwellings in the UK. Dwellings are places that we live. It could be a house, an apartment, or any other place we could live. Dwellings in the United Kingdom look a little bit different to dwellings in South Korea. I'll show you some of the most common dwelling types. Let's go. Look at these. They look like apartments, right? Wrong. In the UK, we call these flats. They are the same as apartments, small, single-storey dwellings. They are normally in big buildings with lots of other flats. They are like flat apartments stacked on top of each other. They are normally less expensive than houses. So let's look at some houses. This is a bungalow. Like flats, they are single-storey. However, they are all alone. Bungalows are individual buildings. Often, old people live in them because they have no stairs. This sort of looks like a bungalow, but it has 2 stories. Houses with 2 or more stories are called detached houses because they are not attached to anything else. Lots of families live in detached houses. My family lives in a detached house. However, I used to live in a different type of dwelling. It looks a lot like a detached house, except it is attached to something, another house. We call this a semi-detached house. Now let's look at these houses. They are all attached. What do you think we call these? Did you say attached houses? Good idea, but you're wrong. We actually call these terraced houses. They were popular during the Industrial Revolution. Factories would build terraced houses for their workers to live in. Finally, these are very special houses. We call them listed houses because they are on a list. The list is of all the old important buildings in the United Kingdom. They are very expensive because they have to be well looked after. They are important to our heritage. Now that we know about different types of dwellings, let's choose one. Look at Activity 1 on your worksheet. There is a word search for you to complete with different dwellings hidden. When you find a dwelling, circle it and write it in the dwelling section of your hypothetical life worksheet. The first dwelling you find is yours. You cannot change it. Once you have written your dwelling down, you can go back and find the rest of the dwellings. Remember, the first dwelling you find is your hypothetical dwelling. Are you ready? Go. Okay, we should have found at least one dwelling. Make sure you have your dwelling type written down on your hypothetical life worksheet. Houses aren't free though. We need to use some of our salary to buy them. Houses are actually really expensive in the United Kingdom, so we will rent, not buy. Please put the cost of your yearly rent in budget box number 2. If you live in a flat, your rent is 5,200 Great British pounds. If you live in a bungalow, your rent is 7,000 Great British pounds. If you live in a terraced house, your rent is 9,000 Great British pounds. If you live in a semi-detached, your rent is 10,000 Great British pounds. If you live in a detached house, your rent is 12,000 Great British pounds. And if you live in a listed house, your rent is 20,000 Great British pounds. Location, location, location. In the United Kingdom, there is a famous TV show called Location, Location, Location. It is a show that helps people find a dwelling they like, in a location they like, all within their budget. Why is location important though? Well, because it makes a dwelling a lot more expensive. For example, a small apartment in Seoul will be much more expensive than a small apartment in Daegu. This is because Seoul is a location that lots of people want to live in. Pick a location in the United Kingdom. Be careful though. If you pick a popular location, your rent will increase. You can pick London, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Norwich, or Newcastle. Which do you like the look of the most? Choose your favourite. Picked a location? Okay, good. This is Norwich. Norwich is my home city. I love Norwich, but it is not that popular. If you picked Norwich, please add 100 Great British pounds to budget box 3. This is Newcastle. If you picked Newcastle, congratulations! Northern cities tend to be less expensive than southern cities. Add 50 Great British pounds to your budget in box 3. This is Birmingham. Birmingham is a big city, but it is cheaper than most. Add 150 Great British pounds to your budget in box 3. This is Edinburgh. Edinburgh is a really popular city. It has a lot of history, and many people like to visit. If you chose Edinburgh, please add 250 Great British pounds to your budget. This is London. London is the most expensive city in the UK. It is our capital city, and many people live there. If you chose London, add 500 Great British pounds to your budget. Ouch. Okay, so we have a job and a place to live. Excellent. But what else do we need? How will we get to work from our house? We could get the bus. But many places in the United Kingdom are rural. They don't have much public transportation. Many cities have buses, but very few subways. We will probably need a car. Do you know any cars from the United Kingdom? What about this one? Or this one? Or maybe even this? These are all iconic cars from the United Kingdom. Let's learn a little bit more about them. The Mini Cooper. This is an iconic car in the UK. So much so that you will see our flag, the Union Jack, on many of these cars. This is the McLaren. Their supercar, the McLaren F1, was the fastest car in the world for over 10 years. They are famous for their fast sports cars. Lotus. One of the most famous James Bond cars was inspired by a Lotus car. Wet Nelly is a Lotus Esprit that turns into a submarine. Nowadays, it is owned by Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla. He was also inspired by Lotus for the design of the Tesla Roadster. And Jaguar, one of the most respected car brands in the UK. Jaguars are luxury cars. They are expensive, fast, and very nice to look at. Their main factory is in Coventry, near Birmingham. Now that we know some more about famous British cars, let's test our knowledge. Find activity 2 on your worksheet, called Car Quiz. Found it? Okay, good. I'll ask you questions about these famous cars. You will write the correct answer. We will mark our own answers afterwards. Keep score. It's important. Our score will determine which car we get in our hypothetical life. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Question number 1. Elon Musk was inspired by which car brand? Mini Cooper, McLaren, Lotus, or Jaguar? Question number 2. Which car brand has their main factory in Coventry near Birmingham? Mini Cooper, McLaren, Lotus, or Jaguar? Question 3. How long was the McLaren F1 the fastest car in the world for? 1 year, 3 years, over 10 years, or over 50 years? Question 4. The Mini Cooper is mini. Which of the following words does not mean mini? Small, tiny, petite, gigantic. Okay, do you have your answers logged in? Let's check our scores. Question 1. Elon Musk was inspired by Lotus. Question 2. Jaguar has their main factory in Coventry near Birmingham. Question 3. The McLaren F1 was the fastest car in the world for over 10 years. And question 4. The Mini Cooper is small, tiny, and petite. It is not gigantic. How did you do? What did you score? If you scored 0, you get no car. If you scored 1, you get a Mini Cooper. It is the cheapest car. It costs 10,000 Great British pounds. If you scored 2, you get a Jaguar. It is more expensive, but you got a good deal on a second-hand model. It costs 15,000 Great British pounds. If you scored 3, you get a Lotus. It costs 25,000 Great British pounds. And if you scored 4, you get a McLaren. These are the most expensive. It costs 120,000 Great British pounds. Ouch, that's an expensive car. Add the price of your car to your budget. Wow, We nearly have our hypothetical life planned. Let's see how many children we will have. For this, we will use our birthdays. For example, I was born on December 23rd. I will use the day, the 23rd, to find out how many children I will have. If your birthday is from the 1st to the 9th of the month, you will, hypothetically, have 0 kids. If your birthday is from the 10th to the 19th of the month, you will, hypothetically, have 1 kid. If your birthday is from the 20th to the 29th of the month, you will, hypothetically, have 2 kids. And if your birthday is from the 30th to the 31st of the month, you will, hypothetically, have 3 kids. For my birthday, the 23rd, I will, hypothetically, have 2 kids. Write how many children you will have in the kids box. Phew, life really is unpredictable, isn't it? Everyone will have a different life. They are all unique in their own ways, and we are the most unique things about them. We all have different goals. So please pick a goal from the list, but be careful. Your goal will give you a bonus for your budget. It could add or minus money. Think carefully. What is your goal? I will reveal the bonus after you have chosen your goal. Here are the options. Be rich, be happy, be successful, travel, have a family. I will give you some time to think and choose. Have you chosen? Okay, good. Write down your goal in the goal bubble. Now, let's see how it changes our budget. Write the change in budget box 5. If your goal is be rich, you will, hypothetically, invest in NFTs and cryptocurrency, and you will lose all of your money. Sorry. Write minus 50,000 in box 5. If your goal is be happy, you will receive good energy and get lucky. You will win the lottery. Write plus 20,000 in box 5. If your goal is be successful, the company you work for will pay for your car. You can cross out the number written in box 4. If your goal is travel, you will become a famous travel influencer. Many companies will pay you to go on vacation. Write plus 15,000 in box 5. If your goal is to have a family, you will have a big family, but children are really expensive. Write minus 20,000 in box 5. Now that we have our budget complete, it's time to do some maths. Let's see how much money we each all have at the end of our hypothetical lives. You can use a calculator or do mental maths to work it out. Subtract box 2, 3 and 4 from box 1. Either add or subtract box 5. Have you got your final amount? How much money do you have left? Are you happy? Yes? No? What does your hypothetical life look like? Now you can compare with your friends. Who has the most money? Who has the most expensive car? Where do you all live? Compare your hypothetical lives. Thank you for playing the game of life with me. Maybe one day you will live in the UK too, not just hypothetically. Good job. See you again soon. Bye.